Stay on.
Hello and welcome to the Wild Card edition of DFS Deep Dive. As you can imagine, my co-hosts Luke and Mav, as well as myself, we're excited. We're still playing football. Point spread for Luke and my team is not nearly as satisfying as that for Mav, but expectedly so. We're just excited to be there. Like I said, we're DFS Deep Dive. We're going to concentrate on the DraftKings platform for this weekend. Things are going to be a little bit different. We'll discuss that. We're unlike some of the other sites, we're actually still producing content. You can find all of our content there at the Cut FFB. And as for me, you can find mine at VandyGrad92. I'm kind of in a interim stage trying to figure out what's going on for 2022. But we didn't want to leave you all hanging for 2021. Like I said, we've still got football playing. We've still got at least, there's 14 teams, 12 playing this week. So we definitely didn't want to leave you all hanging. Luke, Mav, how are y'all doing tonight?
Right, Matt. Okay. All right. I'll just continue with the Steelers talk. Yeah, we're feeling good. Us against the world mentality. We're not even supposed to be here. Everyone's like, how are you here? Thank you, Jacksonville Jaguars country. We love you for exposing trash Carson Wentz and holding back the Colts. But that's another story we could dive into another day. Yeah, we're excited for this weekend, though. We can't wait for Sunday night. We're excited for playoff football.
Didn't I mention that last week? You never know.
Yep.
I definitely said that last week. Told you. And then as per usual, Mack Jones just taking over for Tom Brady being trash in Miami. I guess it's
a Patriot way.
Yeah, it's tradition at this point.
They almost came back.
See, so Mack is great in the second half, which is funny because Brady's a second half quarterback. No, but Mack is great in the second half, and the defense made some plays in the second half. But when they're needed to make that final stop for the final, to finish the comeback, they don't do it, and we don't get the ball back. So I don't know. As long as we don't suck in the first half, the Patriots should be fine. But it's great to be back. The rebuild. The 1 year long rebuild. I don't know how other teams take years and years to rebuild and they still suck. We did in a year.
Well, it helps when you have one of the best, if not the best coach of all time. So
yeah, that helps. But apparently he's a terrible GM, so
I wouldn't say terrible, maybe just not the best drafter. I think that's fair.
So apparently the last 2 years he's actually listened to his scouts, and in years past he has not listened to his scouts. So I don't know, maybe listening to your scouts helps, and you can avoid N'Keal Harry, who, Lord have mercy, I forgot what game it was, the game before Jacksonville, and I wanted to drop kick him because God, he's awful. Great blocker because he's big, but he's awful.
Yeah.
One thing I'm going to beg Mav to do, since I was off last week, luckily on Tuesday I went in for a COVID test and I'm negative, so I'm excited about that. Starting to feel a little bit better, but I've kind of missed out on our Better Fantasy, our newest sponsors. I'm going to beg Mav to do that for me tonight, if you will.
Oh, hold on. I didn't think we were going to do that because there is no more fantasy leagues currently. It can open. There we go. So yeah, Better Fantasy. The Cut Podcast Network is still sponsored by Better Fantasy. Better Fantasy is a new free to I can read it. It's a new free-to-play app that lets you sync your fantasy football leagues, and you can bet on your matchups. So, unfortunately, you would have to wait until next season when fantasy football is back. Unfortunately, there's no fantasy football, which sucks. Congrats to anybody that won their leagues. I won 2 dynasty leagues in my first year. So yay. So as you bet and you win on your matchups, you can cash out for gift cards when your bets hit, and you can even raise money for charity along the way. It is a slick and fun app to use. It's a new company looking to grow their community. It's available on iPhone and Android. And when you use the code CUT when you create your account, you receive 1,000 better credits. Thanks, Better Fantasy, for sponsoring the cut.
Appreciate that, Mav. So the most important thing to think about this, DraftKings is no different in terms of your lineup, but your slate's going to look entirely different than what we've discussed all year long. So you still got your 1 quarterback, your 2 running backs, your 3 wide receivers, your tight end, your defense, and your flex. But we've always concentrated on the main slate. The main slate, of course, has always been your Sunday 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern games. Well, this week that's going to be different. We've got 6 games that are going to be across 3 dates. You got 2 games on Saturday. Those games are going to be the Raiders at the Bengals and the Bills at the Patriots. You got 3 more games lining up on Sunday. Those are going to be the Eagles at the Bucks, the 49ers at the Cowboys, and the Steelers at the Chiefs. And last but not least, certainly, you got the Monday night affair, the Cardinals at the Rams. Now, like I sometimes forget, but I'm not going to forget tonight because I got it right in front of me. We have several games with high over-unders and also additional high implied totals. So for this week, your high over-unders are the Raiders at the Bengals. That's going to be an over-under of 48.5. You got the 49ers at the Cowboys. That's an over-under of 51. And you've also got the Cardinals and Rams. That's also sitting at an over-under of 49.5. Like I said a little bit earlier in the intro, we've got certain teams like the Chiefs. Despite their opponents not having much of a total, we've still got fairly high ones. The Bills are at 25. The Buccaneers are at 27. And the Chiefs are at 29. So those are also some teams that you can concentrate on if you'd like to. So, guys, I'm going to toss it over to y'all and let you introduce your lineups and what we're looking at this weekend.
I'm surprised that the highest over-under is not Raiders and Bengals after what we witnessed last week.
Well, that is one thing I was looking at. I mean, when you get to playoff football, you've actually got some pretty good defenses, but I'm not going to count necessarily the Raiders. They're actually probably the worst defense in the playoffs to me. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll shut down the Bengals, but I personally don't see it. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're not the highest over-under as well.
I will say, living in Ohio, we're anticipating snow this weekend, so it could be snowing in Cincinnati. It's possible. I think the snow is going to hold off till Sunday, but I guess there is a possible chance for tomorrow. But most likely Sunday, Monday is the snow. But that could obviously affect things when it comes to the over for sure.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I'm still waiting for Patrick Mahomes to test positive for COVID. It hasn't happened yet, but there's still time.
All right. Yeah, here in Tennessee, we're predicting 5 to 10 inches of snow. I've heard 3 to 7. We'll see.
Yeah,
how about y'all in Ohio?
Not much, 2 to 4. It's never as much as they predict, so I'm not really expecting much. It seems like it never snows like it used to anymore. Not here anyway.
Well, let's hope it doesn't snow because my quarterback is playing over there this weekend. So, as I've mentioned, we got Derek Carr, quarterback, 5,500. I mean, he didn't play. He played solid. Little 15 points. Hopefully, playoff football. He's the more experienced quarterback here, kind of. This is his first time playing the playoffs, I assume. But he's been around the block quite a bit, so I'm expecting for him to have a solid game here. For running back, I mean, it's supposed to be like a degree in Buffalo this weekend, and we remember what happened last time in Buffalo when it was brick, as we say in New York. So we went with. Where is he? We're blind. Damian Harris, 6,400. He's been amazing. I mean, his yardage isn't, but he's been, 17 points, 17, 31, 20, and then the game against Buffalo, 20. So I'm expecting a duplicate performance there. I at first went with Elijah Mitchell here, and not a bad get, but I made a swap, and instead of Elijah Mitchell at 5,500, we went 100 less and went Sony Michel at 54. He seems to be the lead guy now. And other than the bad game against the 49ers, he's been very well. Just doing what former Patriots do. Continue to be great.
One Patriot, one expatriate. Continue.
I mean,
can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, so here we went Mike Evans at 6,900. He's playing with a former Patriot. Got to keep it going.
I'm trying to figure out the Derek Carr connection. I feel like there's something sneaky that I don't know about.
The Patriots should have drafted him instead of Jimmy G. That's what happened. The Patriots should have drafted him. If you wanted the successor to Brady and you wait till the second round to get Jimmy G, you could have just taken Derek Carr at the end of the first.
Yep.
Whatever.
Oh, well.
But yeah, we went Mike Evans here, 6,900. Somebody's got to catch the ball, right? I don't even know who else plays for the Bucs anymore at this point. So we went Mike Evans here, 69. We went, I swear I'm getting blind. T. Higgins here at 63. I'm going to assume the Raiders do something against Jamar Chase, which will leave T. Higgins a lot more open underneath. So that is my take on that. And of course, my stack with Derek Carr, we went Renfro at 6,000. Again, in Oakland, somebody's got Las Vegas with the Raiders. Somebody's got to catch the ball. And it still continues to be Renfro, even though he only went 4 catches, 13 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Whether it's the yardage or the touchdowns, however way he gets his points, we're going to take it. And this year he finished with over 100 receptions and over 1,000 yards. I didn't know that.
Yeah, DraftKings never adjusted his price properly. He should be more than $6,000.
Yeah, and he always gets to that solid floor like you were talking about. You don't care how he gets his points. So.
Yeah, and originally I went with Kittle at $6,000, but he's been a little quiet. He has like 60 yards combined in the last 3 games. So we went away from Kittle, and we went with, Gronk. If y'all haven't noticed the theme that I've used by now.
Still got that Patriots theme going on for sure.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, because we went
running backs again, Mav.
My running backs, Damian Harris and Sony Michel.
Okay. There we go. Now somebody, not to steal a peek, at some point in time, somebody had Fournette in there. Was that you, Mav?
That's me.
That's him. That's not me. So defense, we went Patriots defense at 2,600. And at my flex, we went Jacoby Myers at 4,500.
All right, well.
And that I'm left with 0 remaining. Now, my team originally, I had Kittle and Elijah Mitchell, and I just didn't like the Kittle pick.
So it's surprised you didn't pivot from Derek Carr to Mack Jones, and then
I haven't heard of Kendrick.
He's not going to throw the ball. We're just going to run it.
Yeah. My biggest surprise, no Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I wanted to, but he's let me down the last few weeks. I couldn't do it, so we went with Gronk.
Plus, the weather could be like you just said, won't throw the ball.
We're not going to throw the ball.
That could be.
He's going to run it down their throats again.
So does this mean is Stevenson a viable option?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so.
They both got 2 touchdowns against Jacksonville, but I thought about it too, and I'm just like, let me just go with Damian Harris and then just not even go with 2 running backs on the same team.
Isn't that the NFL though? You guys dropped 50 on Jacksonville. The Colts beat you guys, and it was never close. Jacksonville controlled the game from the kickoff.
Yeah, the Colts got beat up.
I'm sitting there thinking, like, gosh, Jacksonville's really going to win, and we're going to lose, and like this is how it's going to go down.
Oh yeah, or missed out on that tie on Sunday night.
Oh my! I actually thought it was going to happen. I was laughing. I was waiting.
You were laughing. I was in the hospital with a heart attack. I had 9 hours of 5-10 quarters of football. Life as a Steeler fan these days is.
I was ready to type LOL in caps if it tied. I was ready. I would have felt so bad, but I was ready. I was laughing. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious.
You know what's bad? We were having a party here after Boswell made the field goal. We're like playoffs, won't even tie. As soon as it went to overtime, like my heart just dropped. Like, oh my gosh, Big Ben's never going to play again because these two idiots.
Oh, and when they both went for field goals,
4th down 18 times.
Well, exactly. And that last one was just an amazing pass into the end zone.
And when they both went for field goals to start overtime, I'm like, nah, there's no fucking way. There's absolutely no way.
Yeah, because then I was like, they're just going to hand it off. And they did.
Yeah, they were running it the whole time.
They broke a couple, and then Staley called a timeout, and that's a whole discussion.
I really don't think the timeout did anything. I think it's because...
I don't think so either.
No, it's the fact that Jacobs got 15 yards.
Yeah.
That's what I think, too. That 12-yard run finally said, let's go for the win.
Yeah, I mean, because regardless, they were going to kick the field goal anyway, right? As time expired, just to, like, hey, fuck it, we're just going to kick it just to kick it. But regardless, they were going to kick it anyway. But it's the fact that they got the extra 15 yards.
Yes.
I don't think the timeout actually did anything because they were kicking it regardless.
Being a divisional foe, I am sure the Raiders have no love lost for the Chargers.
No. Derek Carr didn't look like he cared. He's like, it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only thing that I had with my team. I actually had Kendrick Bourne as well because I didn't have the extra 100. I had Kendrick Bourne instead of Myers.
Of course you did. Oh, instead of Myers. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't have the extra 100, but going from making all these swaps that I made.
Right. Okay.
Now, the only tough thing with Mav's lineup, number one, he got all of his players in. But the only thing I always hate, especially when you're going over 3 days, is to put all my players like in one time slot. And then I'm like, who do I cheer for now? So I guess don't forget that you can actually create lineups for each game. So that's an opportunity too.
Hey, I mean, I got some players on Sunday, on Tampa.
Yeah, you're done after
I'm done after Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah,
that's okay. Everybody out there, we all got single game lineups available on DraftKings. That's the beauty of it.
That's true.
You can play football all weekend long.
Yeah, don't be like me.
You're going to be out in front, and you just got to hold on to the lead.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I'm after Saturday. I'm like, yo, what's the score? And I'm gonna celebrate.
I'm excited, man. All these games really like when I was going through who to pick for each, I'm like, man, these are tough. Like,
yeah,
I feel like there could be some good games. So, as far as pivot plays, I think that's kind of hard to do this week. I mean, I didn't really even write any down because like we know who's playing. Unless they don't really have a dark horse. I threw one complete dart throw in my lineup, but like there's not like a complete random, when you slim the field down from you cut half the league out, there's not as many pivot plays to just go to.
The only pivot play I have for me here is Carr to I really don't want to do this. Carr to Jimmy G.
Because he just said you should have took Carr over Jimmy G. Now you're going back.
No. But no. Drafting when when Jimmy G got drafted by New England.
Yeah,
like when you said, "What's the why did I take Carr over Jimmy G?" But no, in terms of DraftKings overall or just fantasy football, Jimmy G has played a lot better than Derek Carr actually. So I can see that being like not even. I could just do that right now. If we're being honest, like this is still the better play.
I feel like it's the '90s seeing Niners versus Dallas. Like same
here.
Come back in time, like it's where's Dion and Jerry?
Yeah, but after seeing. Like after watching like Cincinnati and the Raiders play defense, I felt like this would be more of an offensive game than I can see the Niners and Cowboys actually being a defensive game.
So a little tidbit for y'all: who is the last team that to not? What is the longest streak in regards to not having a playoff win?
Isn't it the Bengals? Win? It's the Bengals. What, 1990 or something like that?
Yeah, I know they've been a while. It's probably it, right? Unless it's the Lions. Did they have their
Actually, I misspoke. It's actually supposed to be the longest playoff drought in terms of not getting in the playoffs.
Oh, that I've seen the chart. I'll let Mav guess, but I've seen that on Twitter. If it's 2010, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That was when this certain team made the playoffs. Wouldn't it be the Lions then?
No. They made it a few years ago against the Cowboys. Remember that pass interference? It was like 2017 with Calvin.
That was 2017?
Ish. That could not be right. But anyway, no, that's not the team. It's an AFC team. We'll give you that.
It's an eastern border team and
it's Miami.
Nope.
When they
more north.
You're in the right. Yep. Since Mark Sanchez, they haven't made it.
I thought that was a very interesting stat.
That feels more recent.
Now, the Bengals haven't had a playoff win since 1990, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Dolphins played us in the wild card a few years ago, maybe like 5-6 years ago now.
Now, Mark Sanchez feels more recent.
Actually, that last game was against us when we beat him in the AFC title game.
Yeah, I was rooting for you guys. Don't worry. The song Black and Yellow, my favorite song for the week. Yeah.
I love the fact that they're still blaming us for hurting. Who was it? Palmer's knee.
Yeah, we spoke about that last week.
Yeah,
we spoke about that last week. I brought that up.
And not again. All right, look, it's a new year. It's 2022, and Ben Roethlisberger's in the playoffs. All right, we are here in the now.
Palmer completed that pass after his leg got decapitated. If Palmer stays in that game, I think that's a blowout.
All right. Well, we don't have to go down this road again.
we did this last week.
Don't
worry, Brian.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty.
It's funny because last year I even said I think the Steelers can go far, and everybody's like, "Why?" I'm just like, "You guys don't have to. Your kryptonite isn't even in the AFC anymore."
If they get past the Chiefs, then it could get wide open for sure. I think the whole AFC is rooting for Pittsburgh this week.
No doubt. And obviously, we can beat the Titans. We've already done it once. They're just not. I mean, they'll have Derrick Henry back, but they're not offensively explosive. So
that's what scares me, though. The Steelers' interior run D is horrific. If Derrick Henry comes back, it could be a problem. But let's worry about Kansas City before we even.
Yeah, you guys got annihilated, and Tyreek Hill didn't even do anything, and Kelsey didn't even play.
Yeah.
So.
And Tyreek's didn't hardly play either. But all right, I'll go ahead with mine.
That's enough of my New England Patriots lineup.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go quarterback big. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going Big Ben. I just want to be full of Mav there. Hey, he's more than Mack Jones. How does that make you feel? I just seen that.
Well, I mean, Ben Roethlisberger throws the ball how many times?
75.
44 times. 46.
Yeah.
40.
Mac might throw it 20 if the weather's bad.
44.
Well, what did he throw at the last snow game against Buffalo? 5?
3.
Yeah. Okay. I really didn't play Big Ben.
Surprised Mac Jones even has a price. Surprised he's not free. 30. I mean, against Jackson, he had 22 points.
2 for 3.
2 for 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What a game. 2 for 3. What a game.
All right. So my real quarterback I'm going Dak Prescott at 6,400. I'll just get the stack out of the way, and I stacked them with Amari Cooper at 5,900. I went the cheaper of the CeeDee Lamb and Cooper. I like them both, but I had to go the cheaper route. But the Niners secondary is very beatable, and I do like Dallas at home in this game. I just hope the right Cowboy team shows up, because at times the Cowboys just kind of be like, what? Like, they're very inconsistent. But I like them this week because I think the Niners can be beaten in the secondary. And Cooper, there's been a lot of chatter in Dallas and himself about not getting the ball enough. I think they're kind of trying to fix that because they don't like him unhappy. For my running backs, I went Leonard Fournette at 5,900. He is officially a game-time decision, but if he plays, I think it's a smash at the price. So we'd obviously have to pivot off if he doesn't play. I'll get to that at the end of the lineup, but I like him a lot if he does play.
And that's one thing I want to mention now as well. So Tampa Bay, I believe, are they the early Sunday game? Is that right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have time, other pivots. I personally had Elijah Mitchell wrote down. Then you'd have somebody to play with us for, but that's what I would go. That's a 4:30 kickoff, so you obviously have time unless you want to go real cheap. And Ronald Jones is ruled out if you want to go the Keyshawn Vaughn or Le'Veon Bell route, but I don't know if you –
or Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah. Bell did score a touchdown last week.
But that is one thing that we have to all keep in mind when we're setting our lineups this week, is that if you've got a player that's questionable or maybe even more than questionable, just keep that in mind and make sure you got an alternate later in the weekend, because that's always tough to think of.
I just keep thinking back to how good Fournette was for in the playoffs last year, and I think they were obviously didn't want him to get hurt, but I think this is obviously the plan all along to have him ready to go here. At the other running back, Devin Singletary, 5,700. He's been straight fire for the last few weeks. The only person probably hotter is Rashard Penny, but obviously we can't play him. But since he's not in it, but who would have thought Rashard Penny and Singletary be the hot backs at the end of the year? I want to see somebody who predicted that in August. I don't think anybody did. But Devin Singletary, I don't like the matchup per se, but he's definitely going to get the opportunities for sure. The next wide receiver is the man himself, Cooper Kupp, 9K. You're at advantage if you get him in the lineup, and he's Monday night. I like to have like the last player of the week, especially being a guy like him.
Hold on, Monday. I didn't even know it was a Monday night game.
Yeah, we got 2 on Saturday, 3 Sunday, 1 Monday. Super Wild Card Weekend. Welcome to the new NFL. Yeah, hope you don't like sleep. This stinks for East Coast people that have jobs.
I'm pretty sure, isn't this the first year they've had a Monday night playoff game?
Yeah, that's why I was so confused. I don't remember this ever happening.
Yeah, for a guy that works Monday and Tuesday mornings at 5 a.m., this is fantastic that the Steelers played 8, and then that game's on 8. But, we'll get it figured out. But, yeah, Cooper Kupp, no explanation. 9K for a reason, right? The next wide receiver, here comes my Mav out of me. He's practicing. My boy, TikTok himself, 3K, Juju Smith-Schuster. Keep scrolling.
Wait, you said 3K?
Yeah. Because I don't think they knew he was going to play when the prices came out. You probably type his name in because there's a whole lot of people there. There he is.
One thing I'm reading on NBC Sports Edge is even though they opened his practice window, they still think he's a long shot to play, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, that's another one, obviously. If you go, obviously, if Fournette don't play, that's probably the guy you go up in price after you go down in, obviously. If he doesn't play, I do think Ray McLeod needs mentioned. Ben has seemed to like him a lot lately. He's 3,700, and I actually had him originally, and then I had to go a little cheaper. But he had kind of a bad drop, but, man, he made a heck of a catch in overtime when vintage bid somehow came back to life and converted 2 third downs and a 4th down. Ray was a part of that. So, but if Juju does play, I think that kind of kills Ray McLeod's value. Seems like that's his job. He'll have a little bit, probably some reverses and whatnot, but it's interesting to see how much Juju could be a decoy too. This is scary. This could be, hey, he's playing, like cover him, like, because I mentioned to my buddy last week, like, Juju's probably due to be back if they make the playoffs, and there it was. Like, it was pretty cool. I didn't expect him this week.
But that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know his shoulder was pretty messed up. He separated some nastiness. It was gross, but we'll see what happens. He's trying to get paid too, so obviously all that's factored into it. For my tight end, I'm going Darren Waller. Speaking of come off injuries, he came back last week, and boy, the Bengals. If other than last week, which the Browns-Bengals game was backup city, past 4 games before that, they've given up 9 catches, 8 catches, 8 catches, and 13 catches to tight ends. Teams are killing people with tight ends against the Bengals, and Waller being healthy, I think, is a smash. And hopefully it's old Darren Waller style. 5,700 could be a steal for what his potential obviously is. But
one thing I'll say about Waller, his stats weren't good last week, but he actually looked healthy to me. I watched pretty much all
did.
of it.
He kind of had that eyeball test.
Yeah.
You're not kidding. Watched all of it. Us Steeler fans were just somebody win the game. Of course, we knew it wasn't going to be a blowout. We just knew it would be close. We knew nobody was going to blow anybody out in that game. For my next guy, I went OBJ at 5,100. He seems like touchdown or bust type play is what he's become, but I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, and I obviously don't mind him. Think it's going to be a fun game Monday night. I hate that it's on Monday night because I know I'm going to end up staying and watching it. So, and then for my lastly, I have Buffalo D at 3,200. Look at Matt's face. Look, listen to me. I know Mac, but this is a rookie quarterback on the road in the playoffs. You're not telling me he ain't going to make a mistake or two. Okay? Nah, I'm sorry. It's going to happen.
He's going to make up for all the mistakes that he made in one game.
And Buffalo, those crazy fans jumping through tables, suplexing WWE style. There's going to be stuff thrown on the field. There's going to be fans on the field.
Wait for Mac to throw a touchdown pass, and then you're going to have somebody coming off like up there. And then Max is going to catch him, suplex him, and there's going to be just a random table in midfield, and he's going to get suplexed to the table from Mac.
They are probably already tailgating in Buffalo. They
couldn't even sell out the stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's so cold. They're not ready.
Yeah.
They're not ready. They were practicing indoors.
Everybody practicing indoors except for the Bengals.
Buffalo. Y'all are soft.
Hey.
Y'all are soft, Buffalo.
Plus, from what I understand, all their tables are in storage, so
they're not gonna let them out.
Yeah, no, Buffalo, y'all are soft.
We know the only NFL team without an indoor practice facility is still the Cincinnati Bengals because they're cheap, and yeah.
You know, New England, they're ready. They practice outdoors.
Yeah, Belichick probably has his cutoff hoodie on.
Yeah, they're practicing outdoors with fans outside.
The fans must practice too. You guys cracked me up. But yeah, obviously, the Fournette and Juju could have to pivot out of, and that.
Yeah, I don't even know what do you even do with this? 3K? How do you replace this?
Well, if you take Fournette out, you can go down to a bunch of different guys too. I think if you take out Juju, you take Fournette out. Obviously, if he doesn't play.
Where's Fournette sitting in terms of price?
59.
There's a lot of good, like I said, pivots right below him.
Yeah, Ramondre
between 5,000 and 59. So
of course,
what a great pivot.
Just got to throw that bill out there.
Ramondre Stevenson.
So, do you guys prefer Le'Veon Bell or Keyshawn if Fournette's out? Do you have one over the other?
I'm good.
No, I'm just saying if you had to pick one.
Any from those two?
Yeah, if you say you had to pick Bell or Vaughn.
I'm going Vaughn, but of course I'm a Vanderbilt alumnus, so
yeah, I'm going to go Vaughn or just somebody different.
But Vaughn was more involved than Bell last week, so
yeah, Bell seemed to score when the game was kind of over, like he just kind of got in there. Of course, Sony
obviously
slot him in there.
Doesn't love Vaughn, but I think Vaughn would be ahead of Bell.
What do we think about Cam Akers?
Yeah, I was about to say. That's an awfully big question. He actually had several. He had several targets, and I mean, I'm not a ton, but certainly some touches in there. So I don't know. Where's he sitting at price wise?
42.
What is it again?
4,200.
Oh goodness. Yeah, that could be this. And if you want to take the risk, why not?
So let's just play that. Put Cam Akers in for Fournette, Mav. And then take Juju out and see what we got.
4,800.
Okay, so who's our options? Who else is our options besides a Patriot?
Claypool.
Or Van
Jefferson.
Yeah, okay. Or Gabe Davis, your favorite. I got to throw some Bills in there. You know, look, our Grayson guy that a lot of people played last week who got hurt, and then he got hurt early in the game.
No wonder why my score was so low.
It's all right. I got burnt with P. Ryan, who the Bengals said all week was going to start and didn't touch the ball.
Yeah, Evans did, didn't he?
Yeah, I should know. Not playing with fire there. Can't trust anything.
Zay Jones could be a dark horse here at 4,200.
He does have random games. What about Desean Jackson? Bomb chance? I don't know what his price is or what he's done recently, but he's always got that chance. One play he pays. Heck, you might have to type his name in. There he is. 3,000. Oh, do you like him over Juju?
No.
I mean, obviously, if you so there. Oh no, that's Saturday. You can't do that.
He hasn't done anything.
Okay, never mind. Let's go ahead and let Brian go, and then we can dive deep into the rest of it.
All right. So, couple thoughts at the top. The more expensive quarterbacks, like I said, this is the playoffs, so you don't have the absolute best matchups. So I think each one of us chose a less expensive quarterback, which I would encourage everybody to do. I mean, they may look like slam dunk plays, but the opposing defenses are pretty good this week. And the other thing that I called very interesting, running backs, the most expensive running back was only at 6,800, which I believe that was Joe Mixon sitting at 6,800, right?
And that's what happens when you lose Jonathan Taylor off the slate.
So I found both those things kind of interesting. So, in regards to my lineup, I took the one team that they really had an opportunity to rest their starters last week. And like Mav was saying, I believe it was Mav that said that he was surprised the Bengals Raiders wasn't the highest over/under. Well, I kind of targeted that game quite a bit. So my quarterback, I've got Joe Burrow sitting at 6,800, and I'm going to go ahead and get his stack out of the way now. Jamar Chase 2 weeks ago just lit the place up. But T. Higgins is a good wide receiver as well. So I went T. Higgins at 6,300. The Raiders are not great against the pass. So I was, even though we are in the position in the playoffs, there's still some better matchups than others. So I tried to take that into advantage. And so like Joe Burrow's facing the 16th ranked pass defense. So that felt pretty good. And then I do not like to do this at all.
Wait, you went Chase or Higgins?
But I actually took a third Bengal.
Higgins. Just Higgins. Okay.
I took a third Bengal, Joe Mixon, sitting at 6,800. And the Raiders actually have the 30th ranked defense against the run. So I'm kind of surprised we have a 30th ranked defense in the playoffs, but we do.
How'd the Steelers make the playoffs? That's another question.
What is it now?
He said, how'd the Raiders make the playoffs? I said, look.
Yeah, they got Steelers. The 30th ranked defense, like rush defense. The
I'm pretty sure we're dead last against the run in the NFL. We got to be in the bottom 5 for sure. But
we do. But that being said, unless you like Darrell Williams, CEH is out this week. So that's kind of interesting there. And now I always like to have a comeback player, and I went with Mav and went Renfro at 6K. So pretty much I went heavy on the first game of the weekend. So I could either really enjoy my position or be like, why did I do this for? So we'll see.
You guys are going to be really ahead of me after the first game. Let me tell you. Come on. I'm only going to have Darren Waller, and you guys are going to have like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, exactly. I loaded up for sure. Now, my second running back, and he's questionable, but I will say this. Najee actually practiced today in full, so I think he's playing even though he's questionable. Last week, he got hurt in the first quarter, came back at the beginning of the fourth quarter when they needed to win. He was there in that final overtime drive with both a big catch and a big run. So I will be shocked if Najee sits. My other 2 wide receivers definitely showing a little homerism here, kind of like Mav. I went Deontay at 6,700. I think that's the Chiefs give the 22nd most fantasy points to wide receivers. So the Chiefs are another one, even though their offense is explosive, their defense can be had. It wasn't had by us last time, but it can definitely be had at times, especially through the air. And my other wide receiver, actually, I don't have any more. So I've told you my running backs and my wide receiver. And then kind of a couple of odd plays here, but I wanted to go this way. I'm favoring the Cardinals. I don't know why. Maybe because my kidney donor's from Phoenix, but either way, I'm favoring the Cardinals. And so I took both the tight end and a guy that most people probably have never heard of, but that's okay. I have. The tight end I went is Ertz at 4,700, and the flex is Antoine Wesley sitting at 3,300. And over the last 3 weeks, ever since D-Hop's been out, he's actually had 8 catches for 78 yards and 3 touchdowns. So kind of a dart throw, but at 3,300, I'm not thinking you can expect too much more than a dart throw. So that's basically my lineup.
Wait, who's your defense?
Yeah, we just didn't get your defense, Brian.
Patriots?
Oh, I'm the Rams. Excuse me.
Rams,
oh, okay.
I do not know. I don't typically like to go offensive players against the defense I chose, but price-wise, I had to either go the Rams or the Patriots, and maybe I still have time to go the Patriots. It's my lineup's not set, but I just went the Rams.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Like the New England Patriots.
That's a new one.
So yeah, that's what I went with. And like I said, Najee I think will play, and old Wesley's not been playing bad. Surprisingly, ever since D-Hop's been out, Wesley's played over 75% of the snaps in each game. And the guy that you would think would have stepped up a little bit more, Rondale Moore, has played less than 40%. So Wesley seems to be really involved in 3 wide receiver sets. So I'm just throwing him up there as a dart throw, thinking that Kyler Murray would do something.
All right.
Y'all have any pivots?
No, not this week. No, I thought one of us would pay up for Kelsey, but that didn't happen.
He's only 6,700.
Yeah, like it's not crazy. Like I'd have to go up 1,000.
I had to go up 300.
See, I really like Darren Waller against the Bengals a lot.
Aren't the tight ends usually a little higher price than the top one being 67?
Everything kind of seemed down. It's probably because it's only a few games to pick from, so they probably lowered everything to make it a little more reasonable.
Kelsey was like 7,300 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's got to be the playoff because there's less games. They probably lowered everything just so you can get more in.
Yeah, when I was, doing the thing, I was like, well, all the prices seem a little suppressed to me. But I've got a couple quarterbacks I want to throw out there for y'all. See what you think.
Okay.
Stafford and Hurts are kind of fairly inexpensive, both sitting at 63 and 61. Looks like. I don't mind those players.
Jalen Hurts scares the crap out of me this week because I don't like Philly's O-line. I think Tampa's D-line is going to eat them alive. But obviously the rushing upside and could be down a lot throwing could help. But
the Bucs give up the 26th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. I found that to be a little interesting.
That should help. And Stafford, yeah, obviously. Is Stafford going to get this playoff / I can't beat winning teams monkey off his back?
I was watching the game too, and I'm like, "Oh, this game's over." And then I look at my phone and I'm like, "They lost." I'm like, wait, what?
I know. I really thought the Saints were going to the playoffs. I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And Taysom Hill got hurt. I'm like, Trevor Simeon's going to start a playoff game next week. I said, "Holy crap!" I said, "We might not be the worst team in the playoffs if the Saints can get in." The Saints D was playing really good for last month, though. They tried.
Mm-hmm.
Their D was balling out. If they get a quarterback, if they get a Russell Wilson,
if they get an offense, because their offense is just terrible all around.
Is Michael Thomas ever going to return?
I think he's done. I just think he's done. He's been gone for 2 years. Yeah. I just think he's done.
If he doesn't play next year, it's over. So we'll see what they do. Obviously, they got some questions to fill. You got any other pivots overall, Brian, before we jump into picks?
I do. So we were talking about Fournette a little bit earlier and some players priced below him. I've got Mav's absolute favorite right here from memory. Miles Sanders sitting at 5,100. Miles has actually played really well the last few weeks. He's been healthy, so I wouldn't sleep on him.
I'm sleeping.
And then a guy that's pretty interesting, Chase Edmunds. I think from my perspective, of course, Monday's a long way from now. I think that Connor may sit out, and Edmunds at 5,000 get the majority of the run in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wouldn't mind him.
That's a tough one, being the Monday night game. If Connor plays, that could kind of kick your teeth in there.
Keep an eye on tomorrow's practice report. That's going to be really, really, really important. Mm-hmm. But if he sits again in practice, you can pretty much assume that he's likely to sit Monday night. And you've always got if you save some money, you can always possibility could always go Cam Akers come Monday night.
That's true. That could be a pivot.
So you might be okay there. And then other than that, I think we pretty much mentioned everybody that I'd be interested in mentioning.
Mm-hmm. Goddard is a name we didn't mention for tight ends. He's at 4,500.
I wanted to mention Dalton Schultz as well. Dak's been going to him again last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, last 4 weeks. Well, not last week, but the 3 weeks before that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we can jump into the spread picks.
That's the funny thing. I had both those tight ends written down, but I didn't want to be a ball hog. I wanted to pass around. So
that's
glad y'all mentioned them.
All right, so let's
all right. Well, let's get the two out of the way. We already know you're taking Brady and Brady's old team, right?
I don't know. -8, I think, is too much.
Really?
Yeah. I think 8 is too much because remember the last time they played, and I called it too, where it's going to be a blowout early, and whatever team that Brady's on, they tend to just let go of the gas all the time.
So you're taking Philly in the 8?
I think so. Last time they played, but it was at Philly, and it was only a 6-point game. No, I'll stay with Tampa here at -8. Go with the Raiders +5. Won't have like an actual reason. I just think Burrow resting last week is going to hurt him a little bit. They're going to start off slow.
So you think the Bengals win, just don't cover?
If they do win, yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Being 3 or 4. Or the Raiders just outright just winning wouldn't surprise me. I'm biased here. I'm just gonna go Cardinals. Not even and then Stafford, he hasn't, like you mentioned already earlier.
This is a big game for him.
Yeah, for his career.
Personally, yeah, This is monsters. And
kind of defines his whole career, to be honest.
And he has not played good for about a month.
No, he started off hot, same way like other teams did. Start off hot, and like him in particular, he was an MVP frontrunner, or he was one of them. Mm-hmm. And You got Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford against winning teams. I'm going to go Dallas here, -3. It really wouldn't surprise me if 49ers won, though, but there's just way too much talent on Dallas for them to just even be in a close game with San Francisco, who barely made it in.
What are you going to do here? This is the one me and Brian are waiting for.
There's absolutely no way this game is close.
Yeah, you're right. Pittsburgh blowout. I see what you're doing there. Let's go.
That's okay. I got a funny feeling that Luke and I will agree with the Pittsburgh game. So.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely no way this game is close. Like, there's just no.
It's 12.5 too many, though.
No.
Okay.
There's absolutely no way this game is close.
All right, he's going Kansas City.
Like, I don't want to. Like, I hate the Chiefs. I don't even like watching them play. I just think they're boring to watch at this point.
So you're rooting for us too, then? You're hoping for the upset?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, you guys lost 36-10. I didn't even watch the game. I took a couple of glances and I'm like, what is even happening on the field here?
I said after that week that was almost the first Steeler game in a long time I almost walked away from. And I literally watched every play of the Steelers, and it was hard. As
long as we don't hike the ball over the center's head in the first series, I think we might have a chance to at least stay within 12.5. So.
I've seen a horrible stat. The last 3 Pittsburgh playoff games, they've averaged giving up 43 points.
Yeah, 36,
I'm not surprised.
And then
last year,
the Jaguars
didn't even earn half those.
Yep, and the Jaguars a few years ago when Blake Bortles and Leonard Fournette came to Pittsburgh and just absolutely throttled us. Yep. All right, Mav, let me see how many we have. Let's see. 1, 2. Okay, well,
we already know you're going Buffalo.
Yep, I'm going Vegas with you though. I think Vegas does win. There's just something weird going on in Vegas. Something special seems like it's brewing. I'm with you about the Burrow resting thing. I think it's going to affect them, and it might be. But the rest may come out too slow to overcome it. And the Raiders are playing hard.
If I had to root for a team not New England, it's either the Cardinals on the NFC, right? I mean, sure, there's Tampa. So any this is actually kind of hard. There's a lot of former Patriots out here. Screw Jimmy G. I'm not rooting for the 49ers. I just really don't care for Jimmy G. So we got the Cardinals, right? I was a Larry Fitzgerald fan for probably his whole career. And then that made me a Cardinals fan. And then I'm a DeAndre Hopkins fan. So even when he was in Houston, so I root for the Cardinals.
Okay.
So other than like the former Patriots being Tennessee, Mike Vrabel, Tom Brady, the Patriots, and the Cardinals. It's the only other team I'd actually root for. So other than those teams, if the Patriots get eliminated, so teams in the AFC, I'm rooting for the winner of this game, right? Raiders, Bengals. They're entertaining to watch. Even when the Raiders suck, I still like watch, and it's just like, okay, this team is still entertaining to watch. Like, I'm a fan of Derek Carr's leadership, more so what he's been through this year and how he's approached it. And then the Bengals are just entertaining to watch this year.
I can't believe this is Derek Carr's first career playoff start.
Yeah, his team is just
has been good.
Because that 1 year he was an MVP candidate, he got hurt at the end of the year, and Matt McGloin had to play a playoff game and never lost.
Disgusting. Yeah, and then their team has just been terrible after that.
Yeah.
And then Cooper couldn't hold on to a ball, and they had Crabtree, who just wasn't that great.
Yeah, so that's my upset. It's a little bit of a homer against the Bengals, but I really honestly just like the Raiders. I definitely think it's too many points. But the Jungle, maybe he'll be fired up since he hasn't won a playoff game since I was in diapers. So, stuff can change, this time. Raiders and Bengals, neither have won a playoff game in over 15 years. So somebody's winning one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will be a very entertaining game, though.
And then probably the game of the week, honestly.
Like you said, I'm taking Buffalo. Just this is not my hate on the Patriots. This is a rookie quarterback on the road in the playoffs. That is my main reason for this pick. And it's a grudge match. Each one won. It's going to be another. This is a different type of exciting game. Bengals Raiders, you're going to see fireworks. This game, it's going to be defense and coaching, and running the football. So old school football in Buffalo. Sunday.
Kind of looking at all the 12 teams playing this week, and I don't really hate any of them, to be honest. There's a few teams that I really dislike, like the Ravens, but there's very few teams on the slate. There's actually a lot of
the Chiefs.
I don't know, friendly teams that it's kind of hard to hate against. So
the Chiefs.
I still hate
the Eagles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I still hate New England. I hate Cincinnati the least out of our division. but I think the Bengals are going to be a problem for our division in the next few years. So I think Jamar Chase is going to be a problem. So
I'm petty. I hate the Eagles.
That's fine. This is Brady's revenge against the Eagles. That's why I'm taking Tampa -8. Brady still remembers the Super Bowl.
Of course he does.
So he does like to lose to mediocre quarterbacks, though, so that kind of scares me. But I think Tampa at home gets it done. 1 o'clock, Brady just kind of take care of business here. Maybe Philly. Maybe you might get a backdoor cover, but I don't think Tampa's ever in jeopardy of actually losing this game. Dallas Niners, I went to Cowboys, kind of what Mav said about the talent. When Dallas is on, they're on, and their D has shown a lot of flashes this year. And if the right Cowboy team shows up and Dallas can shut down the run and make Jimmy G make mistakes, I think Dallas could run away with this game. But I like Dallas. There's too much talent. I hate both these teams. I hope they both lose. Whoever wins this week, I hope loses the next week. So, and I'm taking Pittsburgh. That is the upset of the week. We're going to Kansas City. 21-20 final. That's going to be the score. Pittsburgh is going to win. Then they're going to have to go to Tennessee. I can't wait. Anyway, and then I'm going.
Wait, who was the team that you hate? Wait, they both lose? Like, wait, what?
Cowboys Niners.
Oh,
you know why? Because they both got 5 Super Bowls, so they don't need to get another one.
Yep.
And then I'm against. Well, I think both of you with the Rams. I think Stafford finally is going to do it, but my problem is I've kind of been a Stafford fan, kind of opposite of you, Matt, since he was in Detroit. It's probably because of fantasy football. I probably have had him about 8 out of 12 years or whatever, however how long he's been in the league and in all sorts of leagues. But come on, man, do it this time. You're at home. You got McVay, you got Aaron Donald, you got J-Ram, you got receivers, you got weapons. Do it. This is also Kyler Murray's first career playoff start, so somebody's going to win a playoff game here. Cardinals, you don't know what team's going to show up either. Let's be honest.
You know the real reason why
especially
I picked the Cardinals.
Second half of the season, they've not been good at all.
You know why I really picked the Cardinals? Cliff Kingsbury is a former Patriot.
Yeah.
Former backup to Tom Brady. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you honestly didn't. There's your fact for the day.
I think it was just 1 year, though. I got to look. I think it was just one.
I only got 2 dogs. I kind of feel like it's going to be a dog weekend. I only picked 2, but I do think those 2 dogs. But yeah, I think it's a tricky weekend, a fun weekend for the betting purposes. So, Brian, go ahead and go with yours. Let's see how.
All right. So I went a little different some of these, y'all. First of all, I'm not going to tell who I'm picking this game, but my second favorite team in the NFL right now is the Cardinals. So, unlike y'all, I went Cincy -5.5 versus the Raiders. Sorry, Mav, but I believe in the Bills. So I took the Bills -4.5. I agree with Luke on this one. Even though I think both Hurts and Sanders could be, cheap DFS plays, I'm still going to the Bucs -8.5. And y'all taught me, I actually had a pick on the 49ers, but y'all taught me that the Cowboys are way to go here. So I'll go the Cowboys -3. And the last 2 games are both dogs for me. I can't pick anybody but the Steelers. So Steelers +12.5 seems like a lot of points. I wish I had Luke's courage and machismo and whatever else, but I can't necessarily pick them to win. But I can say that 12.5 is way too much to me. Even though 36
right here, number 7. All right, we're here, baby.
Yeah, I'm there for him, no doubt.
Get Bav's face.
I think it'll be close either way. I think the spread's double what it should be. But, based out of 36-10, how can you not?
Look at Bav's face during this whole conversation. This big die in me over here.
I don't see it. I don't.
Like, God, how did I get on a podcast?
I mean, honestly, I've seen things like this happen where, like, the first time they play, it's a blowout of 2 teams, and it's just like, all right, it's not going to be close the second time, and then it's just like, oh, holy shit. It's like a 2-point goal.
Everybody keeps pointing to 2005 when the Steelers got blown up by the Colts in the regular season, then the divisional round, and they went to Peyton Manning's house and beat them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it happens a lot.
Hey, it also happened the year before when Ben Roethlisberger's rookie season beat up New England. But then everybody's everybody's like in the playoffs. It's in Pittsburgh this time. So how do you have faith? And I'm like, hold on. There was no Deion Branch. There was no Ty Law. Easy money in Pittsburgh, Heinz Field. What happened? Bang.
Hey, listen, we ended your 21 game win streak at least. All right. I know they
And then Brady went into Heinz Field and tossed a deep bomb to Deion Branch. And I think Rodney Harrison had a pick 6.
That was during the Cheatriot dynasty. All right.
Nah, nobody cheated. There's other teams.
And look,
that cheated.
I'm having a mental blank. I know last year was the Browns, and the third playoff back was against the Jags. Who am I missing in between?
That we gave up a lot of points against?
Yeah.
Browns, Jags, and New England.
Okay. Yeah, doing the AFC title game where we didn't have Antonio Brown because he got decapitated by Vontaze Burfict the week before.
Mm-hmm. And then you guys got caught by the flea flicker, bombed to Chris Hogan in the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, Matt?
I remember now.
I feel like we did this last week, Matt.
We
started getting to Pittsburgh, New England. Gosh, can you imagine if we meet? The only chance we can meet is the AFC title game because if we win, we play Tennessee no matter what because we're low seed. But
and then you guys would be coming to New England.
Listen,
your favorite place to play.
If you believe the NFL is rigged, this is Big Ben, number 7, going for number 7 as a 7 seed.
Okay, so if it's rigged, it's gonna be Belichick versus Brady in the Super Bowl.
For ratings, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to believe the NFL is rigged, and I never will say it would. But
either that or Rodgers versus Mahomes, and I'm pretty sure I'm not watching that game.
It just seems like it's funny. Jerome Bettis' last year, Ray Lewis's last year, Hurricane Katrina, the Saints, the Patriots, 9/11. You know, like it's happened, but it could just be coincidence. But sometimes it makes you wonder. But I'm not going to go down the conspiracy route. I don't think it is. I think these guys play for too hard. These are gladiators.
And when Peyton Manning won it the first time, Eli won it the year after.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this weekend, though. Even if Pittsburgh does lose, let the Mason Rudolph era begin.
I'm telling you, Brady probably announced his retirement and closed doors so he can be in the Super Bowl again.
So, Luke, do you also believe it's Mason Rudolph next year?
Oh my God,
I kind of think so. I think they may draft some. No, Haskins isn't going to be on the team. He's behind Josh Dobbs on the depth chart.
Just hiding him for next year.
So. I think Rudolph starts and then maybe draft somebody, and the Pittsburgh will just start Rudolph and start rebuilding the offensive line because the offensive line is trash. But unless a guy like Aaron Rodgers honestly does come available, obviously they'll go that route. I don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson, but as much as Tomlin's talked about a mobile quarterback, I think that's part of his thing. So I think Matt Corral is a guy to keep an eye on. I think they might have an interest in that guy.
We've never been the kind of team that paid up in free agency either, so I just don't see it.
Aaron Rodgers is the only exception I think they would, because I think him and Tomlin are buddies, but I don't think he'll ever leave Green Bay personally.
I don't think that opportunity is ever going to come. So, and I think I picked my last one, but the Cardinals plus the 4 is where I'm at on that game. So,
yeah, I got that.
So we're all on Tampa and Dallas, and then we have paired up on the other one. So we'll see what happens. Should be a fun weekend. I'm excited. Hopefully we get some good football. Hopefully there's not a bunch of blowouts. Other than Pittsburgh when we blow out Kansas City, but
exactly.
like Matt said, how can this game be close? You're right. How is Pittsburgh?
Well, guys, if y'all are ready, we'll toss ourselves out of here for the weekend.
I need to get off here before I get made fun of a lot.
Yeah, we got to stay out of trouble. We got to be fan favorites next year too. So,
hey, I just want to say one more thing because I've been doing it to the guys at work. When do the Browns play this weekend? Because that's right. Yeah. All right. Well, I won't be back.
Every time they generate hype.
Christian. I know it's gonna be a long off season.
Every time they generate hype, man. I was a believer too. I was a believer in the Browns this year. 2 years ago when they got OBJ, I was like, oh, easy division champs. Are you serious?
Next year's it for Baker. If he don't prove it next year, he's just gonna be a career backup. That's all he's gonna be.
Yeah, probably. Well, that's swagger for no reason.
Along with Mack Jones.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. That's just what he's here. All right, we're not going down that rabbit hole. Let's go ahead and close it out here.
Mack Jones is gonna be even better next year. I feel sorry for the rest of the league.
Oh Jesus!
Especially when we signed Devontae Adams in free agency.
Oh my gosh, I can't handle it. All right, go ahead, Mav. Give us your Twitter handle.
Yeah. There we go. Those are Twitter handles below. I will actually be home for this game tomorrow, so I will be live tweeting as this game is happening. So, yeah, you will see a lot of probably rage tweets when I see a run from Brandon Bolden at third and 5. So, yeah, that's what McDaniels loves to do. But I'll be a very happy person tomorrow because we're gonna win clearly. Again in Buffalo, which is what we do. and I will be winning against these two in with our DraftKings lineups because I have like my entire team playing tomorrow.
You know, we it's not just for Saturday. You did know that, right? I just want to make sure.
Hey, I'm taking a picture of the score tomorrow. Whatever happens Sunday, I'm not gonna have any recollection of it. Or maybe after the 1:00 game. Yeah. Luke, what's the score?
My Twitter handle is @LukeDPal. We're gonna end the Homer podcast here. Holy crap, we are kind of gotten away from non-being homers this week.
I mean, there's only 12 teams playing. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's time to root.
Hey, I talked about more than just the Patriots, though. Like
you're right. No, all the ex-Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're not on New England anymore. Like Cliff Kingsbury was the Patriot in 2003. Vrabel, he's a coach of the Titans.
I'm with Mav about the raging stuff of Pittsburgh. We get the 3rd and 10 wide receiver screen passes to Ray McLeod or Claypool, so we feel. I
mean, they're late Sunday, so there's going to be a lot of. Have a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see what happens.
I'll be winding down. They're gonna be raging Sunday night.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sleep. I gotta be at work Monday morning at 5 a.m. That's gonna be fun. Hopefully we're celebrating. Brian, I'll close this out.
We wanted to thank everybody for joining in again. Hopefully I can encourage you guys at least one more week for next week. We've still got a pretty big slate of games, but anybody whose team's playing, good luck to you. Anybody who's not, hopefully you have selective amnesia and, you'll wake up Monday and have a good time. So thanks again for joining in. And hopefully we'll join you next week. Take care, everybody.
If you don't see me next week, y'all know what happened.
7 for 7. Let's do it.